Hey guys, Cam here from 9 to 5 Google, and each year Apple releases an iPhone and Samsung releases its Galaxy S series flagships. Most would argue that they normally represent the best phones available, and this year it's no different. But which of this year's phones is the best overall? Let's find out. Apple is a company which prides itself on design as much as it lauds its own technological innovations. In years gone by, comparing the design with a Samsung flagship's fit and finish, aesthetics or build quality was no contest. The flimsy plastic phones were no match for the elegant aluminum and glass devices being churned out by Cupertino's finest. Last year that changed, and this year the S7 Edge is easily one of the best looking and best made phones available to buy. With its wide frame, the iPhone 6s Plus is starting to show its age. It's easily the biggest 5.5-inch flagship phone available thanks to the front panel's thick bezels. It's a design that was big when it first launched 18 months ago with the iPhone 6 Plus. It's even more noticeable now that Android phones are getting smaller and slimmer, despite featuring big screens. With the Edge, that is most definitely true. Even with subjective thoughts on the phone's looks put to one side, there are a couple of reasons I'm sure most can agree the S7 Edge is a better designed device. Firstly, being much narrower and shorter than the 6s Plus means it's so much more comfortable to use one-handed. Secondly, it's water and dust resistant, thanks to some built-in seals and membranes over the ports and grills. Both share similarities, of course, because they feature curved glass and metal combined to make a really stunning and durable handsets. Execution is slightly different, but I think design overall is better on the S7 Edge. Now with the 6s Plus and the S7 Edge, it's a battle of the best AMOLED panel versus the best LCD, and in all honesty, I'm hard pushed to recommend one over the other. While I love the deep dark blacks and vibrant colours of the Samsung display, the iPhone's is still a great panel. And the difference in sharpness between a 1080p resolution iPhone screen and QuadHD display isn't noticeable at all. And so when it comes to the viewing experience, all that seems to make a difference is colour reproduction and contrast. I personally find the iPhone screen a little lacking in life and contrast and saturation when sat next to the Samsung. Others of you may prefer the more toned down natural look of the iPhone's LCD screen. And of course, Samsung's screen is curved at the edges too, and this enables a handful of interesting features that I'll mention later on, and it adds that little extra something to the display's overall appeal. Now, there was once a time when the iPhone's camera was the best on the market. In some ways, it's still impressive how good its end results can be in automatic or regular photo mode. Just by hitting the shutter button, you can get a good shot. But even in automatic mode, the Samsung takes some staggeringly good photos. Both use a 12 megapixel sensor, both have optical image stabilization and phase detection autofocus. But the one specification that makes all the difference with the S7 Edge is its aperture. At f-stop 1.7, Samsung's phone is better at grabbing light in low light conditions and has fantastic depth of field. This allows you to take shots with some awesome background blur. Part of the Samsung's appeal for me is the Pro mode. It lets you adjust exposure, shutter speed, white balance and focus manually. Even pushing it to the extreme, taking long exposure shots at nighttime, it can create some nice images, although they do tend to get a little bit noisy in the dead of night. When it comes to overall performance, reliability and battery life, there's very little to separate the S7 Edge from the S6s Plus. At least when it comes to the Exynos powered carrier unlocked version of Samsung's latest phones. Your experience sadly may differ if you have a US carrier locked version or if you have a Snapdragon equipped version. Still, with the phone I've been using, loading apps and games is really fast. Loading times are quick and animations are as smooth as you could hope for from a device with a high-end octa-core chip and 4GB of RAM. Likewise, the A9 processor in the 6s Plus deals with everyday tasks without stuttering. Both are equally capable of loading intense graphics, so whether you love watching movies or gaming on your device, you'll have a great time with either phone. The same can be said of battery life. Specification-wise, the S7 Edge has a capacious 3600 mAh cell, whereas the 6s Plus has only 2750. On most days, with my typically moderate use, I can pull either phone off charge at around 7:30 in the morning and get to midnight with between 40 and 50% charge left. If I happen to spend time gaming during the day or use it more than I normally would, that might be as low as 20 to 30%, but with average use, both phones are practically 2-day phones. I can normally get around to 9 or 10 PM on the second day before my battery level gets uncomfortably low. Now, Samsung and Apple, as usual, took slightly different approaches when adding unique features to their line-leading smartphones. Apple's pressure-sensitive touchscreen is genuinely useful and uncovers an extra user interface layer of options. It can also combine with live photos, a feature which captures video right up until the photo is taken, to add animations to your video. While the Samsung doesn't have the pressure-sensitive screen, the camera is capable of taking motion photos. But likewise, Samsung does have its own tricks, like the always-on display which shows the clock, calendar or image and notification icons without draining much battery on your lock screen. It also has a split-screen multitasking view for using two apps side by side and swapping information between them. And there's that Edge screen which enables Edge panel usage for things like a quick look at weather, quick tools like your ruler or torch, and also quick access to apps, functions, and contacts. As an overall package, at least when considering the hardware, it seems to me the S7 Edge is quite possibly the best phone on the market right now, and that's period. It's elegantly designed, fast, has a great camera, and great battery life. Likewise, despite its size, the 6S Plus is still a very, very good smartphone. Apart from the camera and perhaps design, it matches the Galaxy S7 Edge in every department. And Samsung's own Android Skin TouchID still leaves a lot to be desired, although you can customize it with some downloadable themes. For me, the S7 Edge is the winner here, but that doesn't mean the iPhone's not good too. I'm Cam, at CamBunton on Twitter. You can follow me there, ask me any questions, and as always, you can use the comments down below. I'll see you again soon.